Welcome back, and welcome to Hallowspeed, JediJoe and Mr. McSqueezy. How's it going?
Pretty good. How are you?
I'm doing pretty well, thanks. This weekend has been a lot of fun.
And a good one.
So yeah, a fantastic cause that you guys have put on here, and it's great to see a lot of people in chat all here to support the cause.
I don't have chat up, by the way. I'm trying to stay as tunnel visioned as possible here. So.
Awesome. Are you ready to go?
I think I am.
Okay, cool. Do you want to count us down?
To the time start?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. All right. Should I I'm going to introduce the game and do my little formality if that's cool.
Perfect.
All right. So, TheJediJoe, obviously, and I have Mr. McSqueezy. Say hi again. Another Silent Hill speedrunner.
Hello there. I'm Mr. McSqueezy.
This is Silent Hill 3. Came out in 2003, and it's obviously the third installment of the Silent Hill franchise, but it is the direct sequel of the original Silent Hill. So this is a continuation of the Harry Mason storyline. And we will be playing as Harry's adopted daughter, Heather Mason. The no quick save, quick load category gets ran on easy action level or easy difficulty and easy riddle level. Timer starts in 3, 2, 1, 0. So this is a very movement tech-based run, and just like we said, this is the glitchless or no quick save quick load category. So we're not going to be using the quick save quick load mechanic to exploit time, in-game timer, out of bounds, none of that. It's just all raw movement. There will be some little in-game timer tricks that we'll talk about, which are within the rules, but we'll also touch on some other like key binding and movement little quips here and there. So, but this is where the game starts out. This is going to be like kind of like a dreamscape. Our main character here, our main protagonist, Heather Mason, just wakes up and she has no idea what's going on. We're in Silent Hill, but we're in the Lakeside Amusement Park that's around the Toluca Lake area of Silent Hill.
A nice little cameo there from Robbie the Rabbit, everybody's favorite plushy amusement park toy. Not creepy at all.
Nope. The bloody boys sitting on a bunch of bloody boys sitting on a bench. So we'll be watching some cutscenes here and there, but we're gonna try and give you the best like synopsis of stuff to try to give you speedrun knowledge, you know, of everything we're doing, but also a nice little like lore run.
And this is probably one of the areas that in a regular speedrun we would be very reset heavy on. This enemy here, this thing called the Closer, it wants to die, or wants to kill us within 3 hits normally, but RNG is a big problem here. We're meant to wait for his drill attack to come through. It doesn't always come through for us.
Yeah.
Hi, Lou. Do we have time for a massive donation?
Oh, go for it. Yeah. Cutscenes, go for it.
We have a £100 donation from Mike Paradigm. His top 3 leaderboard time incoming. No pressure, Joe. Thank you so much, Mike Paradigm, and thank you for the interruption.
Thank you, Mike Paradigm, and a fellow RE speedrunner. So follow him. Very generous person. A paradigm shift wherever he goes. So Heather's going to be waking up here in a mall in some random town that I don't think we figure out where this actually is, but we're not in Silent Hill. So we're going to be waking up in this mall. She was having a dream, and we're going to meet our next character here.
Mr. Douglas Cartland. He is a private investigator sent by some very, very shady people to try and figure out a little bit about Heather's past. Well, maybe not figure out her past, but I guess maybe deliver her to the shady people.
Yeah.
It's been a while since I've checked the story.
Yeah, he's a PI, and he was sent by a certain someone who we'll meet later, you know, in a little bit. But Heather's just making a phone call to her father that she neglected her duties to pick up whatever she was trying to do. And, yeah, she's on her way home, basically, so she's dodging this guy. Failed to mention there was a skating mechanic, which I just did, which I will be also showing here. Basically, I strafe or skate left to right with the shift controls. I can demonstrate after this next cutscene here. It's a very important, it arguably is the most important dynamic to the speedrun here.
So the amount of time it saves, just when you think, oh, I'm just going to turn right. Actually, no, we're going to yeet ourselves to the right by skating across. Adds up a lot throughout the course of a run. And it's fairly nice tech to learn, actually. It's not necessarily simple, but it's easy to pick up.
A quick little note, this model that the closer here is eating the face of is of Angela from Silent Hill 2. Unconfirmed, by the way. No, that is confirmed. So we're gonna do skate up the stairs here.
Everybody's favorite meme coming up here, by the way. If you've got any bread emotes in chat, feel free to spam them, because this is probably the best and only time you'll get to spam them in this run.
So you notice the skating, it like, you basically, instead of just turning directly out to the right or to the left of when you're coming out of these doors, by skating, you're putting yourself into the next, like you're into the direct line to your next point. So it saves a considerable amount of time over the run.
There's a few little movement mechanics like that you'll see throughout this entire run. As we say, all adds up.
Another one we're about to do right now is the quick turn cancel, where I quick turn and then cancel out of the animation by hitting the dash button. I think I did it right there. I can never tell. I only recently learned the movement, but I'm pretty sure I did it right there.
Looked good to me.
So there's another skate there. There's going to be some parts where we're going to be skating literally around an elevator shaft. Like, it's going to be some pretty obvious, like, dance moves that we're doing. And it looks pretty cool. So this is going to be our first puzzle. This is the infamous Shakespeare puzzle. This number is completely RNG. A lot of the puzzle numbers in this game, or solutions that are numbers, are pretty much all RNG. So instead of putting the books into the bookshelf, we're going to decipher for the numbers. For any possible runners or anyone that wants to try this, make sure you figure out the numbers before you get out of the screen, because this screen is stopped in the IGT. I've lost many runs that way. So the number is 5832.
That's it. You've probably noticed the 8 and the 3 look very, very alike. So if you get both on a book, it's really good RNG because you don't have to guess it. If you get just the one, good luck.
All right. So this is the main antagonist for the story. Her name is Claudia. And Heather still has no idea what's going on. But Claudia is going to babble on about some sort of mumbo jumbo about her whole plot and what her agenda is. And say something along the lines of, it's for about something that happened 17 years ago. And Heather just has no idea what she's talking about.
How should I know?
And on a non-judgmental note here, you'll notice that Claudia is not wearing shoes. So good life advice is never to trust anybody that does not wear shoes in a shopping center.
If you notice there, I hit the hitbox on the elevator button from pretty far away. I think the hitbox is something we should probably talk about as we enter this area with a lot of doors.
Yes, there are a few, let's say, janky hitboxes. Some you can hit from what seems like a mile away, and others you have to be right on top of.
So basically, whenever you hear the sound of that weird music where it's like or whatever, like that's the world changing from the normal world to the other or alternate or nightmare world. So the elevator brought her to the nightmare side of the mall now. Gonna be a big skate, and the dog's not gonna get in our way. Sometimes he is in our way. Sometimes he can bite you, but a considerable time loss. A lot of also crazy camera angles. It's like RNG camera angles, basically. So I need to make sure sometimes if the camera isn't working with me, that I needed to make sure it does work with me.
So series staple there, the flashlight. Unlike the other Silent Hill games, we don't actually need the flashlight for a whole lot of the game, believe it or not. We need it for this particular bit where Joe has picked up or will pick up the coat hanger there. I think that is one of the few objects in the run that you need the flashlight to see. Everything else you can kind of just whiz past it.
But yeah, we picked up the radio, we picked up the flashlight, so those are Silent Hill staples for a loadout, and then we pick up the hanger, and we're gonna go up to the next floor of the mall now. I gotta remember how to play the game. A lot of these cutscenes are really funny because it involves like Heather like grunting from booting something, or just I find this stuff so entertaining.
She gets her workout for sure.
Also notice Heather's attire. For any Legend of Zelda fans that we might have, might notice that she strikes. It's a striking resemblance to Link's attire, with the green tunic and the brown boots and the blonde hair. And you might say, well, that's just a coincidence. Well, I have more facts inbound later to all the Silent Hill Zelda references, so just wait and see. It'll get pretty mind-blowing.
I can confirm Joe's an encyclopedia of knowledge for this right now.
So we just picked up the walnut there. It's kind of a weird, another weird hitbox. I've missed it many times and had to moonwalk back. But as you can see, the world is beginning to get that kind of like little rusted, kind of like, you know, starting out slow here with the worlds. If you notice, every world, every section that we go into is going to get progressively a lot more grimy. The world of this world and the Silent Hill town, excuse me, is it's its own character and personality and its own story arc. So it's pretty cool to watch. And by the end of the game, we're not going to be able to see in front of us. It's just going to be like fire and peeling of blood and just everything pulsating and very loud and just oppressive sounding.
Juho has just made a very good point of we are about to bust a nut.
Oh, nice, yeah. So we just pick up the Moonstone here. So this is the exact Moonstone that evolves Pikachu to Raichu. Is that true? That's true, right? For any Pokemon fans? I don't have chat up, by the way. I'm sorry. I'm trying to just pay attention, but but yeah, if anyone can confirm. I only played the original. So RNG with these enemies, they can get in your way. I mean, like, it happens.
Just a shame they're so big. Because you have to actually go out of your way to
yeah,
get
you
around
literally
them.
have to go out of your way to get around them. This is pretty much it for the mall section. We're going to be headed towards our first boss fight, the Split Worm.
So the Split Worm boss, I would say, is kind of a nice little reference to the Split Head boss under the school in Silent Hill 1, and you'll see for very obvious reasons in a few moments once Joe gets down this ladder.
There's a lot of references to the original. That's why I tried to preface that this is the direct sequel. And this whole game is one big lore dump.
Yeah, so for any lore fans, this is a perfect game, and much like the Silent Hill 4 one from earlier, actually, there's a lot of lore. So this boss is quite RNG based. Optimal damage is about 6 shots from a handgun. Now, if it doesn't take 6 shots, it'll take 7 or 8 instead. And if you go past 6 shots, if we do on here anyway, you'll see Joe pause for just a split second after the 6th. We'll try to shoot again. If that doesn't do it, pause again and then shoot again. There's a little bit of a animation stun, I would say, for this boss.
Mm-hmm.
If he does not get the cycle, the worm is going to travel a little bit and might run Heather over. But I think Joe has got this down to a T.
Oh yeah, I haven't messed it up at all on my runs recently since I've been derusting this. So I did shoot a little too early, so we're just gonna escort homeboy over here. So if you were doing this in a run, it would just be a reset. So we're probably gonna have to just wait one more time to shoot him here. So it's no big deal.
And you'll find the kicker is here. It'll be one more shot and he's dead.
Yep. So that's why you have to get it on. He gets eye. It's a lot. Every boss has iframes in this game, so you'll see how we have to like. I already mixed that up once, so we'll see what other memes occur later on. So now the world is back to normal, and we're gonna run into
Shopping mall just like before.
another. I mean, there's only a few characters in this game, so we're gonna run into Douglas again here.
Yeah, Douglas is quite a patient man. You sort of left him by the female toilets. He's waited forever. He's just thought, you know what? She's got to leave here sometime. I'm gonna just hang by the entrance and hope I catch Heather. And for a detective, he's got quite a smart mind on him.
So he's also seen like the monsters and stuff like that too, and he's like, what's going on here? You know, like I'm not in on this. Like Claudia sent me to find you, and that was it. That's all I know. So he's telling the truth. He doesn't, you know, he has no idea what's going on. But she thinks they're in cahoots, so she's gonna bail on him, and then we're gonna take the subway home. The subway is a very kind of hard area to learn in the speed run. Everything looks the same, so it involves a lot of practice, and it's a lot of weird camera angles, and yeah, it's pretty rough in a casual and speed run. To at least learn, but for the most part, like it's very walky and very quiet in this area, so it's cozy.
Yeah, lots of rooms to remember, lots of items to remember as well, and actually, depending on what category you run as well, will change your path through the subway. See, this is the no QSQL run, so there's no skips or glitches or out of bounds, anything like that. So this is the purest way of going through the subway. This is how you would do it on a casual playthrough.
But the subway does not have like an alternate phase, or I guess it does. I guess this underground area is like the, you know, the nightmare area. But for the most part, it's probably the cleanest, brightest lit area in the game, I think.
I would say so. It's much cleaner than the mall.
They scrubbed the place. So we're about to pick up our main weapon for the playthrough here, the shotgun.
Yeah, lovingly gift wrapped, waiting for Heather to pick it up.
Another thing I failed to mention was the mashing through the text also. Which is some text, the IGT will stop, but you can actually physically skate or like quick turn cancel out of text, opposed to just hitting the text, and that's a typical Jedi maneuver where I go the exact opposite direction I'm supposed to go in. It's only because I'm talking. I do it all the time. This is why I don't have the chat up right now. I'm still doing it anyway, but we're having fun.
It's probably a good thing to mention about the IGT as well. Like most Silent Hill games, I think other than Homecoming, this game is timed by IGT. Obviously, we're doing RTA, or real-time attack, for the timer for the marathon here. So as Joe sort of touched on there, when you hold up text from picking items up, you don't actually cut into your IGT time. And this will come in very handy for us much later on in the run at a very particular boss fight. If you need like toilet breaks, things like that when you're doing a speed run, because who doesn't need a toilet break when you're doing a speed run? Yeah, that's always a good time to do it.
It's very convenient in that, like, oh, this is the long cutscene. This is a big lore drop. I think my roommate just put himself through the wall. Donation? I'm sorry. Yeah, go ahead.
Thank you. We have a £40 donation from Anonymous saying, Anita! Thank you so much.
Oh, nice. So that's it for the subway. This is a pretty cool area. We're on the train here. We're on the I live in Philly, so this could be like the Broad Street line, or this is probably more so the Market Frankfurt line because there are a lot of sketchy characters. You know, it's kind of a mess, so it is what it is. A lot of sketchy characters that are moving really funny and trying to touch you and not distance themselves. But it's pretty straightforward, pretty straight line all the way through. Just gotta dodge the ding-dongs in your way, and that's pretty much it. You can get hit there, though, so... I always skip the cutscene right there, so she has a funny face.
Yeah, if they hit you there, you either get just knocked back a little bit, or you get knocked down. I think normally it's just knocked back. If you're really unlucky, you get knocked down and you lose a little bit of time.
That's another thing with the mobs in this. There's a lot of you either just get hit, or you get knocked down. Like, that's pretty universal towards a lot of other mobs in this game, so we might get knocked down, so we'll see how much time that loses. Rather just get tapped than to completely fall down in a speed run.
Exactly.
Because then she'll just sit there, and then you have to, like, you know, you're trying to, like, mash out of the animation and get up as soon as possible. So this area is a doozy to learn. Very dark area of the sewers. Another area where everything looks the same.
Complete with a giant numb body there as well, protecting its young.
Yeah, they come in plus size too. Yeah. So she just tried to jump at me, so. But she didn't get me. You can shut the flashlight off, you know, in these parts, but I very rarely get hit. These are also those little guys on the floor. They're known as pendulums, I believe.
They are pendulums, yeah.
And we're gonna hear them very soon when they go into their flight mode. It is one of the worst sounds ever in video game history.
If you've ever heard of chalk on a chalkboard or nails on windows, it's like that, but worse.
We have the game audio down a little bit probably, so they can't hear it that much, but it'll be there. You'll hear it.
So going back to what we said about the hitboxes earlier on, coming up there is a kind of a YOLO hitbox for this next section.
We're going for it.
So this is a nice bit of time save if you can get it. See, Joe's just filled the wine bottle with some kerosene, and we need to put it into a generator. Now, normally you'd expect we can just, you know, go up to the generator, but Joe's going to try and go to the railing on the side and just get it in.
We'll get one more. We didn't get it. It's very difficult. It's so risky. No one actually does it, but you have to go all the way around, so you could see why maybe someone might want to try it. But runners don't actually try that move. It's just for, you know, for the really brave.
So this is probably about, what, 3/4 of the way through the sewers now?
Yeah, we're making our way towards one of the most hardest movements in the game, which is simple-ish item grab into another item skate. It's an item grab into a strafe, skate, whatever, into another item, into a skate out of the room. Can be done pretty quickly. I've been kind of messing it up lately in my D-Rust runs for this marathon, but maybe we'll nail it. I think I've been like not turning enough. I think that's what's been going on. Like not turning, I'm turning too much into the item, but it's going to be an ampule, a blow dryer, exit door in this room right here.
It is quite finicky movement.
Yep.
But once
so you can kind of
it
overshoot
really
it,
cool.
but it's also a bunch of things you can accidentally examine there too. So if you're trying to like mash through, you'll get like locked up. But it wasn't that bad.
You might be wondering, why on earth is there a hairdryer in the sewers? You'll see in about 30 seconds.
So much like any other Silent Hill game, there's a part in the game where you can get like insta-killed by something because the devs want to troll people. This is that part, but we're not going to get got here. We're going to throw the blow dryer into this body of water, which you can also throw the steel pipe into in New Game and have a fairy come out and enhance the steel pipe and enhance the damage of the weapon. So, second Zelda reference on the day. So yeah, whatever that thing in the water was is now dead. But if you were to run over that catwalk without doing that, you would die. So I guess that's an homage to Harry in the at the end of Silent Hill 1 when he, I guess, you don't put the ring on the what's that, the fridge there?
That's right, yeah.
There are the pendulums doing their thing. Harmless.
Just making noise.
Yeah. Yeah. All they do is make noise. They will hit you sometimes, but it's you know, seldom. But yeah, this is the end of the sewers. The next area is going to be known as the Hilltop.
A sort of complex area, I guess, when you're first learning it, because there's a fair few items you need to pick up, and there's a few floors you go between as well. And also, every Silent Hill 3 speedrunner's best friend / worst enemy, the Slurpers, which you will hopefully not become acquainted with this time around, but if we do, you'll know every Silent Hill 3 speedrunner's pain.
Oh yeah. So it's going to be a lot of these staircases where you have to skate up and try to keep the best line as possible. You want to keep, you know, nice and snug. But the thing is, these areas they all look the same. So you're like, all right, well, I got to go to the 5th floor in this building, but I'm not in the other side of the I'm in a different building. Okay. So I'm in the other building. I'm going to go to the 5th floor again, but then back down to the 3rd floor. And then aren't I going back up to the, like, it's very extremely, I still get confused to this day about it. I'll lose a run here and there when I accidentally go up to the 5th when I'm supposed to go down to the 3rd or whatever.
I'm saying this is like sort of throwback to Silent Hill 2. James likes to jump down holes with no mattresses. Heather has the foresight to make her landing a little bit softer.
Oh yeah. And the Uggs too.
The comfy Uggs.
Comfy Uggs. Pendulums doing their thing. Big boy hitboxes.
Oh, that was good actually. That's another weird hitbox where if you try and get it early, you're probably going to miss it, but at the same time, you may get it like maybe like 10 frames early or something like that. It's quite a weird look.
We're going up. Don't go down. Yeah, we just picked up the rope in that room. There was a bunch of little, bunch of big boy hitboxes that we nailed pretty well. Pretty routine, just picking up items here. This hilltop will have another form though, coming up very soon.
Slightly hellier, more dirty form.
Oh, we also failed to mention the auto aim as well.
Oh, did you get the? Oh yeah,
I got a little bit of it there.
So because this game is run on easy difficulty, Konami would being very generous in giving the main character auto aim to save you from having to sort of line your shots up with certain creatures. Trouble is, for speedrunners, it is the worst thing in the world, because if we're trying to mash through doors by using our accept or action button, Heather will automatically turn to the nearest enemy closest to her.
And you will get locked up, because you're going to start to panic in these runs. It's just natural, especially when you got a good time, but if you get locked up, boy, it can get bad, because then you can get hit and knocked down, lose even more time, so it all just stacks. But this is the end of the first half of Hilltop. So
and
this is going to be
Heather? Oh, sorry.
No, go ahead. Go ahead. You were going to mention something about the bathtub. Go ahead.
Who can blame Heather wanting to take a bath after her trip through the sewers?
This is a great cutscene. Definitely feel like the Silent Hill movie got a lot of inspiration from this scene where it's like, you know, the walls are beginning to peel and everything like that, and you know, it's a full-on transformation. Gonna be a lot of strafing in this first part right here, so keep an eye on me. Skating, excuse me. Pro pro strats right here. We meeting our next character, Vincent.
Good old Mr. Vincent. The Silent Hill troll.
So he's in the Nightmare Hilltop, and like he has an office in the Hilltop for some reason. He's very, very chill and cozy in the Nightmare world for some reason, and he kind of just like reels Heather along. We're not gonna watch this whole scene. We're gonna try and give you the best synopsis as possible. But she you could just look at her eyes. Amazing graphics in this game, by the way. This is the best. I feel like this is the best looking Silent Hill game. Especially on PC, it looks great. But he's not with Claudia, but he's also not really like, you know, he just kind of just reels us along. He likes to breadcrumb us or whatever. But we're gonna smash through this, and we're gonna grab a bunch of items here for our, oh, nice, I nailed it from the jump.
So Joe's now about to start collecting items to, I guess, emulate a sacrifice rather than actually doing one. This is very important for getting further through the hilltop and out of the hilltop, actually. And this is where the floor movements get a little bit confusing at first. Because we started on floor 5, we've now gone down to floor 1, gonna pick an item up or a few items up, then back up and sort of rinse and repeat, really.
Make sure you know your left from your right.
Very important for this game. So there's another, we'll call it a hitbox meme coming up.
YOLO matchbook.
That's the one.
All right, that didn't work. It worked in my PB though this weekend.
And that little nice fella on the floor, that's our dear friend the Slurper. So fun fact of those, if they hit you, they will either munch on your leg or they will knock you down. And we see a few of these throughout this run.
Oh yeah, we're gonna meet up with the whole family on the other side of this puzzle wall here. So we're basically gonna combine the liver, the oxidil, and throw a little match in for a little sacrifice that gets us to the other side of this wall, so we can go deeper into the hilltop.
Which I lovingly call Slurper City from here on out.
Whoa, nice one. I think I kind of pushed him there. Oh, and the other one's right there, so it's pretty free. Now that I said that, though. Oh, nice. That's really good.
Excellent.
We do have to get back that way, though, so...
So I'd argue the worst of it is over. Once you pass those sort of first 2 rooms, it's not too bad from there on out.
This isn't a typical Silent Hill, like, meme where, like, you have to use a coin to get into a vending machine and there's a key inside of, like, you know, soda or something. Like, you know, just silly stuff.
It's kind of a lawsuit waiting to happen, really, for that vending machine company. I want Pepsi. No, you got the life insurance key.
We're slowly making our way out of the building now. This whole, this next area is kind of like a puzzle. It is one big puzzle in this area, but kind of putting the finishing touches here.
So there is a exit to the hilltop, but it's guarded by a very big creature. And throughout the hilltop, there are sort of contextual things we can pick up, which allow us to basically read a fairy tale. Much like in Silent Hill 1, you read a fairy tale about the first boss. This is a fairy tale about a girl who uses her voice to banish, I think it's a demon or something like that. So Heather's just now said the words. And
sounds like something out of the Necronomicon that you just said. So, and it's gonna dispel the demon that was at the front door. Now everyone's gone. We've pretty much purged this entire hilltop. We're done. We're off. We're going home. The game.
Off to see Dad.
We're off to see Dad. The game's over. GG. No, it's we're only halfway there. Don't hit the parking cones. That's also another trademark of mine in runs. Trying to stay as like optimal like of a line and then always hitting the cones or hitting cars later on.
It's just a rule of Silent Hill speedrunning. If it exists, you will bonk into it.
Yes, exactly. I love the coding of this game. Everything about it. So this is our apartment. Long day of nice stretch from long day of dodging demons and
Dad, I'm home.
you know, whatever.
Normal everyday stuff.
Spoiler alert, by the way, if you've never played this game before. It's a big spoiler inbound. We're not going to watch the whole scene, but I just want to watch, you know, show you what happens here.
Dad?
He spilt his spaghetti on the floor.
Yep. So basically, Heather comes home and her father is been murdered.
No.
So our hero from the original Silent Hill has met his end. But soon after this, we will find out who did it.
Did you do this?
Yeah, F's in chat for Harry there. It's Harry? Harry.
Harry, yeah. I'm Harry. He's Harry. But this is going to be our next boss fight. Claudia is going to now give Heather a little more info to her past, basically. But this also begins Heather's descent into like madness. Basically, she's going to go on a revenge redemption course now for the remainder of the game. She wants to kill Claudia and everything she's about for obvious reasons. I guess we should talk about this missionary fight, huh?
Yeah, so this fight is, I'd say, another sort of choke point for runs. There's a few cycles it can take. Hopefully we can get it in one cycle or two cycles here. Joe is going to very quickly equip the ampule that he picked up earlier and the shotgun. The ampule will come in handy a little bit later on. But the goal with the missionary is we want to get behind him, shoot his back, he'll fall to the floor. Hopefully we can pop another shot off into his back on the floor. Hopefully that's it. If he gets back up though, Joe's going to wait a split second because there's a bit of an iframe thing going on there, and then shoot the back once more, and then that should finish him off. Sometimes he can run though. If he's got his running shoes on, his Nikes, he might be off.
Oh boy.
Oh,
we got him.
It's a weird pattern at the start there because he's sort of facing right towards you as well.
Oh. Getting that marathon luck.
Oh no.
Oh boy. So you can see how bad this can get. I mean, like, this is such a time loss.
But handled professionally by Joe there.
Just don't panic. Just don't panic, because he will literally do circles around you. And if you try to shoot him from the front, he will just like block you with his Baraka blades. So now Douglas somehow, I guess he knows where Heather lives because he's a PI and he was sent to find her. So he figured out to meet her here. I guess he's been following her.
Heather's going to get a bit sassier from here on out, I think, isn't she?
Oh yeah, that's a great thing about Heather's character as it progresses in her arc. You know, she's a young girl, but you know, she goes through a pretty traumatizing experience, so she's gonna mature pretty quickly, and she's gonna give everyone an attitude and sass all the way through. But
and it's this point where we leave generic Midwestern American town, and we actually rock up in generic Silent Hill. Generic in the fact it's very, very foggy, but it's the same Silent Hill 2 layout of Silent Hill as it was from Silent Hill 2, excuse me.
So this is like the biggest, one of the biggest, I think this is the biggest cutscene in the game. So basically, now that Claudia has kind of like reminded Heather of her past, she's gonna then spill the beans on the car ride with Douglas, the car ride to Silent Hill with Douglas, that she is actually the reincarnation of Alyssa from the original Silent Hill.
What's the deal with Silent Hill anyway? It used to be a nice, quiet little town. But now... I'm gonna head for that Leonard guy's house.
So basically now, Vincent tipped them off to where Claudia is and where this guy Leonard, who we'll be meeting shortly in the Brookhaven Hospital, is. So we're gonna go on our little separate ways. Heather's gonna be sent to the Brookhaven Hospital to find Leonard, and Douglas is gonna go find Claudia in the amusement park.
This is where the ampule is going to come in handy, because now we're actually in the first sort of outside part of the game. Now Heather does have a stamina bar. It's not visible. It is visible in sense of when Heather starts to slow down, we know she's running out of stamina. So on the PC version, we can bind a key to use an ampule, which will recover our stamina. So we'll go back to max. And also gives us health regen as well, which is very handy for certain boss fights.
So there's always like a sort of like frame drop here that can kind of mess at you, and this is also the deepest fog I think I've seen in a Silent Hill game, at least from what I can recall. So you can get pretty lost here. This is like the main street where the hospital is on, but it's such a long path that every time I run the game, that entrance to the right there, I think that's it. Like, that's the entrance, and then I've gone too far. And I'm like, I hope I'm going the right way, or about to hit a dead end or something, but it's just an extremely long stretch of straight, like, road here.
Seems to get longer every time.
Yes, it does. We're going to be attempting a lot of quick turn canceling now in the elevator, because the elevator pad is a little farther away. The buttons, rather.
Nice, that was a good pickup there.
Nice.
There's going to be a few randomly generated codes throughout here as well, and similar to Super King Andy's run of Silent Hill 2 earlier, sometimes it's good to have chat to rely on to remind you of the codes. But again, some people can get quite funny with it.
Whoop, not ready to skate yet. Now we skate. Gotta go to the door first. Done that plenty of times too. We're also going to be meeting up with all the nurses, a classic... No, don't open the menu yet. Keep it together, Joe. Classic nurses of Silent Hill 2. So this code is all RNG, just like all the other numbers and puzzles. The last code wasn't 4639 on the door. That always stays. Let me probably shut this alarm off. And this code will always change. So it's going to be 0806.
0806. Dan Spencer's got it for us. This code's quite nice because you sort of use it in the same room. But on a speed run, you want the lowest numbers possible. Like, I think 0100 is the absolute minimum or lowest code you can have for that suitcase.
I do have the alcohol in my inventory, right? I did pick that up. Okay, just making sure. Before we leave the floor. Many runs have been lost that way by forgetting the alcohol.
We're about to see a nice wall cookie.
We're going to equip a shotgun for the next boss fight later on. We're in the menu, so we're going to do it to save some time. Then we're going to use the nail polish remover. That's what it was, not alcohol. I'm sorry. Nail polish remover. Alcohol was earlier.
It's a nice looking beetle.
Yep. A cookie. So we're going to be headed downstairs to the basement now. And we're going to pick up our next... Is that it? Our next weapon in the game.
Yeah, the submachine gun. Now, the submachine gun we don't really use all that often. It's used just on one fight in the hospital, actually. And then it's done. And that's 2631 is your code there as well, from what I'm seeing.
Thank you. That's the one. That I've lost runs to that too. I think I've managed to lose runs to everything possible in this game, actually. I was finding new ways.
Again, thankfully you'd have to
Big boy
Moved too
hitbox.
far for that one.
Big boy hitbox on that door there.
Oh yeah, love that hitbox.
It's no worse feeling than putting in the wrong code and it just doesn't say it unlocked. And then, yeah, it's over. It's over. Oh, little auto lock. Nice. So we're going to get a phone call here from that Leonard guy we were looking for. This is a long cutscene. We're not going to watch it all, though. He's not really a fan of Claudia, right? He's
actually Claudia's dad.
Ah, that's right, yes.
Yeah.
No,
Do we have time for a quick donation?
Oh, go for it, yeah.
We have a £10 donation from Hans Kush, who says, I love Jedi Joe. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Hans, for that donation. So Leonard is going to he wants to meet up with us. So we're going to go meet him down on the 2nd floor. That's basically that. It's a very long cutscene just to tell us to go to the 2nd floor. Make sure we don't get shot in the back by these nurses. That's the once a year RNG right there. I've had it happen before, a month ago. Oop, let's do this first. So this area is kind of like at a place. It's going to be just like a long tunnel to the alternate Brookhaven Hospital. Actually took a wrong turn in my PB here yesterday and I lost some time on. Because it all looks the same.
Does, yeah. Nice and maze-like. If you're on a casual run, it gets a little bit confusing.
And also
Just
they
follow
throw
the
these
open
camera
door.
angles at you too. It's very, can be very misleading. Whoop. Supposed to skate back, but I ended up hitting the buttons at the same time. Alright, we didn't get lost. Good. Alright, so that's it for the first half of the hospital.
And nice little appearance from Lisa there. Throwback to Silent Hill 1. I always like to say, instead of what's keeping this child alive, it's normally what's keeping this run alive.
Mm-hmm. Usually by this time in the run, you kind of know where you're at. Because you're more than, this is pretty much the final-ish act. Probably like a third is left in the run now, right? And,
That's
yeah, you
about
pretty much know, like, the pace you're on. If you're in a good pace, you're in a good mood. But if you get to this point, and you're not in the greatest pace, There's things that are coming up later that won't help your pace, and we'll touch on them.
Absolutely.
So,
Do
like
we have time for another donation?
Oh yeah, sure.
Awesome, thank you. We have a £6.90 donation from Uni, who says, love your face, Daddy Joe, and nice.
Thanks, Uni. Y'all have been great today. Alright, where are we?
I can't remember what button you pressed there. Basement, nice. This is actually the basement room there, on easy, riddle difficulty. The key is just waiting for us. If you're on hard difficulty, or I think normal difficulty, you've actually got to do a little bit of a problem solve there, so to speak. And this next room of the plastic bag is quite technical. So there's 2 health drinks and a plastic bag in that bin. If you're doing it quickly, you can sometimes just pick up the health drink and not the bag, and it kind of, I won't say kills the run, but it does affect this next bit.
So like I said, these areas are beginning to get even more like ominous and dark. We're going to, an item we picked up earlier, the perfume. We're going to equip that. That's going to come back a little later, and then we're going to fill the bag with blood and get out of here.
Yeah, so the plastic bag becomes the plastic bag filled with blood. Good slurper RNG here though today.
Are we going? First one? How do I play this game? What's the route?
Had to think there for a second as well.
So the slurpers here are pretty easy to dodge for the most part. They're not as bad as the hilltop ones, which are way more aggressive.
This next thing now coming up is I think every runner's nightmare sometimes. We're gonna face a boss here, Leonard. We spoke on the phone earlier. We're not too happy with him. Now, what Joe's going to do is he's going to use his shotgun to shoot Leonard, and hopefully Leonard will fall backwards and will allow a few more shots of the shotgun to go off. Sometimes he's got his armbands on and he will swim around the arena, which we do not want to see. With the submachine gun, after 2 shotgun shots, Joe's going to walk up to Leonard and pump Leonard full of submachine gun rounds, and that should be it.
Quick shot to start also helps a lot as well. And if he does end up swimming, I'll have to chase him down. Also, Leonard is not a man. He's not a human. He's a guild fish demon, which sounds like just any other person though. Well, that's him underwater. But this is a long cutscene. We're gonna skip through this and just go right into it. Nice.
Good RNG there. Can't remember who it was. I think Jokey said it's about a 50-50 chance of he'll swim or he'll start running, but I think it depends on what frame you enter that room on.
But we didn't get the quickest kill there, but he's kaput. And that's it for the hospital.
So there's another little area. We're going to walk back to the motel, or sorry, run back to the motel. I don't remember if you pop an ampule here. I think you might do, don't you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think I just did. I might have not picked it up also, but whatever. I could have sworn, I don't know if you were talking over it just now, but I didn't hear the sound effect go off because I'm hitting it. So, whatever. We just need the one later on. The one later on in the amusement park is the most important ampule in the game, actually. You will lose time here, but, I mean, we're just hanging out. Oh god, this fog. You have to, like, somehow keep to the road. It's so dense.
Yeah, and some barrels and some cars you can walk into.
So you notice, like, I didn't pop the ampule, so I must have used it on accident. I don't know. I mean, we've been talking the whole time, but she clearly slows down, so this is actually pretty good. That, you know, you can see how much slower she moves.
Yeah, it's very noticeable.
But we're just going back to the motel now to meet up with Douglas. But he's not going to be there. There's going to be someone else there to troll us, like he normally does. So basically, Vincent is going to tell us where Douglas is, where Claudia is, and, you know, need to get your ass to the Lakeside Amusement Park to get to the church, which is beyond the amusement park, and, you know, and that's where the final act of the game will be.
That's it. So sort of entering the final sort of, I guess, 20-15 minutes of the run.
Do we have time for a donation?
Yeah, totally.
Awesome, thank you. We have a £10 donation from Raga. TheJediJoe, he's our guy. If he can't do it, no one can.
Thank you, Raga. All the support coming out today, I appreciate it. All for a good cause. And thank you again for having us, by the way. Chad, Sneevil, everybody. Having a blast.
Absolutely.
Just trying to fill this time walking up and not getting lost in the fog here also.
You've actually taken a really good line there.
That's right, because the hitbox here is this. So you want to hit it here. Like, it's not like this. It's like this. So you want to hit it from the sidewalk, I think, from here. There's actually a diagram that Soso, a fellow runner, sent me. And it blew my mind. I was like, oh, okay. That's how that works. So this is the Lakeside Amusement Park where we started the dreamscape, the nightmare sequence in the beginning of the game. But there's going to be no normal world here. We're just going right into the nightmare.
Heather's having some stomach troubles.
Yeah, there's a reason why she is in pain every time the world changes, and we're slowly figuring that out.
There's a few cool things coming up. The first one is this gift shop, and this close outside the gift shop actually as well. So the reason we've got the perfume equipped is we're going to try and manip that closer out of the way. And this gift shop is particularly bothersome because there is something that needs to drop on the floor, which I think Joe just got there now. That can be completely random when it drops. I think it's all based on where Heather is in the room. And with the perfume equipped, that closer won't be by the doors, so we can just get past him. If you don't have the perfume, he is just right in front of you. And it's not rip run, but it can damage you.
Yeah, it's one of those either glancing blow or complete knockdown moments, so kudos to whatever runner figured that out. So nothing special here, we're just running on roller coaster tracks.
Which is actually where we were meant to die in the nightmare at the start. But again, Konami being very generous have allowed us to die earlier and still progress the game.
One time my game crashed here completely. I was in a playthrough and you'll see she jumps off and then the game just stopped working. And I thought it was the end of the game. So. But the game does continue. Like, it would just turn black and then like it never loaded back up again. So so another cutscene here. Douglas is now confronting Claudia, and he didn't know that he was being used and this whole big plot, and now there's people getting murdered, and he's not about that because he's a family man. And now there's kind of like a relationship forming with Douglas and Heather, because Douglas saw that Heather lost her father, how gruesome, that was, and basically he's kind of going to be the kind of surrogate kind of father figure now. So at first, they weren't having each other, it wasn't happening, and now they've come together for like a common good and with this common enemy.
That's quite poetic almost. Claudia kills Heather's dad. Heather kills Claudia's dad. Nice act of revenge.
Yep.
Which might be what Claudia wants.
Mm-hmm. So this next section is one of the most infamous parts in the run. So basically this is like a haunted house, like a Disney haunted house, but like way more gruesome. On the glitchless category, we do nothing. We just let the text play out, and then, I can't get in. When the game lets me in, I just go through, and then we just go through the rooms. On other categories, you can actually Alt-Tab out and stop the IGT and like freeze the game, and that's actually allowed. So yeah, it's pretty cool.
Very recently as well, SH2 Luck, you might know from the Silent Hill 2 RNG table thing, actually found that on console, if you pause the game, I think 150 times in this section, you save about 6 seconds in total, which is to be for console. But it's 150 pauses at the same time.
Yeah. There's a lot of things that are tested in this category that are tested on console. There's been another sort of little IGT exploit that we'll be using in the church later on, but only I just started using in my run yesterday. But we'll explain that when we get there.
Yeah, and that's the great thing about Silent Hill 3 is very, very recently, It's been very active. There's been a lot of new things found on all versions pretty much. So the PC obviously had the skips found fairly recently for the glitch categories, and I believe that technically speaking, the Xbox HD collection, depending on what version of the Xbox you play it on, is technically now the fastest console version of this game. But nobody's run it yet because it's the HD collection.
So this is a pretty kind of tough area to get used to. Still to this day, I can't figure out the movement here. We're going to go to the door, and then we're going to get hit with a camera angle facing us, and we're going to have to turn left, turn right, do all these motions to get through to the end of the haunted house, but there's going to be this red light of death chasing us, and if it hits us, we're dead.
Danny, who dropped down earlier, he doesn't want Heather to leave.
But it seems that no one wants you to leave. Everyone really likes you. They want you to stay with them.
So you might sort of remember something similar from Silent Hill 2 with the hospital corridor escaping Pyramid Head. It's a similar sort of thing.
Banging them walls. Let's go. So we're deep into the amusement park now. Trying to make it to our favorite boss fight in the game. But we're going to do some puzzles, dodge some enemies, collect some items before we get there, get some more supplies.
I actually think, aside from the boss fight, the amusement park is probably the nicest area to do.
Yeah, the enemies are a lot more spaced out in this area, and I don't know what it is. It just works. It's dark, but you know, besides, once you troubleshoot the run, you know, this guy will hit you sometimes, but you know, to get away from him a little bit, and then you're good. We're gonna defy physics with this chain now. And also equip the shotgun.
Yeah, so there's obviously a few times where Joe's menued here and he's equipped or unequipped items. As with any speed game, so things like Resident Evil, there'll be times where you need to menu and times where you probably shouldn't menu. It's always best to try and tie up with things that you're actually doing. So like putting chain on the door and the amusement park right there, that's always a good time to menu.
So
and equip your items.
So another cutscene here. Douglas got injured by Claudia somehow, and as you can see, that Heather is actually caring for him now. She wanted nothing to do with him before, but now they're actually caring for each other. So their story is in you know,
Don't worry,
full arc at this point.
I'm used to it.
Depending on which ending you get, that is anyway.
Yeah, depending on the ending. But we're going on the say she's really feeling him. You know, talking some smack. You know. I love the freeze frames on the cutscenes. So, gonna use... What's up?
Old Man Harley just remembers Douglas wearing very, very different attire, which is correct. I can't remember which version of the game it was, but sometimes Douglas can just be wearing underwear and nothing else.
Oh, really?
Apart from his trench coat and tie, of course, and his hat and shoes. He's wearing a lot more than I remember. But yes, sometimes he can just wear underwear.
All right, well, this is it. This is the biggest, this is the worst part in the speedrun right here. This is the horses. This is the horses and the Memory of Alyssa boss fight. So if you notice, I go into the save menu here. It stops the IGT. It also is to boot up the cycle of the horses. And this is a puzzle. So basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to kill the horses. And I'm going to quick shoot each one down the line with the shotgun. And then and come all the way back. But as I'm doing that, I think I'm going to have Squeezy explain to you exactly what I'm doing with the text and everything like that.
That's right. So going back to what we mentioned earlier about IGT pausing when text comes up, this is probably the best area for us to do this in. So Joe's going to examine a horse, And while we've got the text up, the horse is still moving up and down. This allows us to shoot the horse in an optimal position while not wasting any IGT. So it's a very, very big move. Obviously, we're allowed to use it in the no QSQL run because it's not technically a glitch. It's just a part of how the game is created. We're not tabbing out for it. So it's all legal. Because sort of shooting fairground rides can be, that is.
Do we have time for another donation?
Yeah, go for it.
Thank you. We have a £10 donation from Death Tropes. Hello from Mr. Tropes.
What's up, Death? Thank you.
Mr. Tropes.
An amazing Silent Hill 3 speedrunner who is trained me in the more advanced tech in this game, and you should definitely follow him. He's pushing for world record in the glitched category at the moment, so follow him. So we just went through the cycle. We kind of got memed there with the RNG for the cycle click, but then that's fine. We're going back in the save menu, and we're going to jump right into this next boss fight, which is the most infamous boss fight in this game. Might be the most infamous boss fight in the entire Silent Hill franchise.
Yeah, again, I've said the word speedrunner's nightmare a lot throughout this run. Most of the bosses can be, Alessa especially. There's a nice tech we do here. Joe's going to run up to Alessa, shoot her in the chest. She'll get knocked down, or she'll take 2 shots to the chest and get knocked down. Sometimes she will run. She'll do a little marathon around us. But she's got 4 phases. 2 melee phases and 2 ranged phases. Generally speaking, she doesn't really get the ranged phase off because we're obviously doing it quick. But the 4th phase can be a bit tricky. She'll sometimes take a few more shots than necessary. So I don't know if that's just her health is RNG or if it depends on how we've shot her in the chest.
Also, Dark Link reference. Another Zelda reference.
So I just prefer to call this the My Chemical Romance phase.
Yeah, so it's a quick shot right from the jump. Let's go. Nice. We're also listening for these little audio indicators, these little beeps and boops. They kind of tell me when I should start running, because if I just start running around, she might spawn randomly in other areas or whatever. So, oh boy.
It's a really good RNG there so far as well. Normally after the first shot, Alessa's got a chance to run, and so far, as long as I haven't jinxed it, so good.
I did miss 1 shot, but for the most part, the fight's pretty solid. And now we're trying to find her. There she is. I gotta wait here, some iframes. Boom, again. This is nice. And that's that.
Perfect. Really good fight.
So we're ending our... Basically, the carousel was an elevator. And you hear the squishiness of the ground below me. It's because now we're subterranean. The church is located under Toluca Lake.
Oh, fun fact about that carousel. If you let that ride for far too long on the horse phase, you die. I think it's just a case of you descending too far down into hell and Heather can't take it.
Nice. So there's a quick text skip here. That's actually probably the best I've ever done at that. Well, this is the church. It looks like a pretty standard church, but it is a winding labyrinth, multi-level labyrinth. Remember what I said earlier about the places like getting worse and worse? This is the final act, so it's going to be really dark at times, especially once we get all the key items and the tarot cards, which is to access the final boss. And it's going to get pretty crazy. The walls are going to be boiling and bloody and pulsating, and it's going to be really oppressive, and there's going to be enemies everywhere. There's going to be auto-locking. There's going to be a lot of stuff. We're going to grab the first tarot card, and we're on our way.
Do we have time for another donation?
Yeah, go for it.
Awesome, thank you. We have a £20 donation from Sporkerific. Thanks, Sporkerific.
So this is the new little trick where I go in and then out, strafe out. And then get out of the room, hopefully, again. And hopefully these footprints... Nice, it worked. Usually there's like bloody footprints here that are like, kind of like guiding where this secret passage is. But, I believe someone by the name of Aaron, one of the top Silent Hill runners, figured out on console that, you could pretty much skip those by just going in and out of the room, which is pretty cool.
That's right.
And that saves, I believe, 14, 17 seconds, something like that. I haven't done it well in a run yet, but that worked out pretty well there.
Really good there. I think it's something about that, yeah. And this is why it's good to have sort of different categories, because on the QSQL category, we can just quick save and quick load at that painting, and that's it. That's the that's job done.
So Vincent is just walking around, you know, leisurely reading material in this hellhole, what he does, you know. So he's a big weirdo. Very calm and centered, though. Got pretty good RNG like with the missionary here. They look like monsters to you? Exactly.
We have a raid. My Fox, thank you so much for your raid. Welcome on in, raiders.
Welcome, raiders.
The man with the smoothest voice in the planet, am I Fox?
Wait a minute. Okay. I just want to make sure I got all the rounds. I didn't want to get to the final boss and... A lot of pendulums in this place.
Another great thing about this being on the easy difficulty is on normal difficulty, Heather will teeter on edges. And if you keep moving while teetering, you fall off the edge. Easy mode removes that completely. So this is a fairly safe run in respect of that.
Yeah, you can fall off the roller coaster tracks too.
Yeah, that's right.
There's a lot of memes.
And this is, I think the church is probably one of my favorite areas in 3 because there's a lot of Silent Hill 1 references. So where you picked up the key, that's the sort of second to final room in Silent Hill 1. And the room that Joe is about to get into now is the hospital room where Alessa is kept in Silent Hill 1.
Alright, so I didn't nail the footsteps this time, but you could just easily go back at one more time and save a few more seconds, but I'll show you what exactly was happening here, which is these bloody steps that get us to the entrance of the door. This is a very important piece of lore here for the end game.
The Aglyphotis.
The Aglyphotis, okay. We'll talk more about that later, though.
But that room and the other room that I mentioned there, it's sort of like if Silent Hill 1 had a HD remake. Please, Konami, by the way. That's what they generally look like. So yeah, final sort of moments of the game now. It's just sort of backtracking back to the start of the church, and we're going to go through some walls that seem to be dripping steak sauce at some points. At least I like to think they're steak sauce rather than anything else. And then it's all the way back down to the depths where Joe will finally confront God.
It's a lot of like rooms here where you're bouncing around like parts of Silent Hill or like parts of like Alyssa's memories and stuff. Like this is the Midwich Elementary's classroom here with her desk. And then another boiling room where you can't even make out where the door is.
A few more slurpers for extra measure as well.
Yeah, they're just throwing everyone at us right now. That's a good thing about easy mode. There's not a lot of mobs in your way. That's why 90% is ran on this category. it would be unplayable on higher difficulties. They'd be everywhere.
And we're getting to one of the final doors of the game now. Now this door is really nice because it's a puzzle. But going back to how the text storage and IGT works, if we're on this puzzle, the IGT does not count down. So if you need to like tab out to check the solution, or if you again need a toilet break, a food break, whatever, a little nap, 5-hour nap perhaps, you can take a 5-hour nap. You can still get world record in this on this screen.
Actually,
not that I'm recommending anybody do that.
I actually have it up on my screen right here because I've been messing it up so much lately. So not during the marathon. So this is it. This is the corridor to the final boss of the game.
So a few more cutscenes to play here. A really, really gross cutscene, actually, when you think about it.
So
well, you don't need to think.
We're going to show a little bit of that, but we're going to skip this one. So basically, Vincent is going to meet his end here by Claudia. But we're going to, when we come out of the cutscene, we're going to have to use a certain item. And classic Silent Hill fashion, if we do anything else except use this specific item, it's game over. So the pendant that she's had on her neck the whole time, or the Aglafotis, is going to be used here.
A nice pill of Aglafotis.
So if you were
Everybody
to shoot Claudia, it'd be game over, and then like you would just Alyssa would take over your body or whatever like that. So, but gross warning here. The next few minutes are going to be kind of gross.
If it makes you feel any better, I like to imagine I've got David Attenborough explaining how birds feed their young here, because it's kind of the same.
She is nearly here.
And Vincent just lying there with a knife in his chest.
Took one for the team.
What have you done?
So yeah, lore-wise, Aglafotis is a liquid or a solution to stopping sort of otherworldly things from happening. Harry actually uses it in Silent Hill 1, or can use it in Silent Hill 1 to cure Sybil in the boss fight for Sybil. And depending which ending you get, Kaufman uses it to dispel God or the demon from God. Similar to this, we've used the Aglafotis to dispel God from our body through our mouth.
Yeah, basically a purging stone of some sort, or you know, to get the parasite, the Alyssa parasite, out of her body. But
Claudia's just gonna
Claudia's gonna go in here and actually put the parasite, force feed herself the parasite into her body to birth God. So, but
I know times are tough, but they're not that tough.
Yeah. So we're just gonna skip the cutscene here, and we'll give you the brief synopsis of what happened. So basically, she ate it, and then she met her demise by getting sucked down into this abyss by this gentleman here.
And we're now at the final boss fight. Now this is a nice boss fight, so to speak. We're basically just gonna shoot God a few times.
Yeah, it's pretty standard.
As you do every day. We've got Valtiel on the wall there. He's just veiling God's face to symbolize birth, really. Every time God attacks, she's going to unveil her face and swing at us and then veil back up again. But all we need here is the shotgun. We're going to shoot God in the chest. God will sort of fall down. We'll shoot God in the head. Rinse and repeat a few times, and that should be GG.
Yep. I think we're ready to go.
So this is where the ampule comes in handy as well, because God does attack us. God won't take us without a fight. You'll probably notice at the bottom right of Joe's screen at some point there should be a health indicator pop up, a little red cross. The deeper it flashes, the lower on health he is. So luckily with the ampule and the health hotkey, we can just heal without needing to menu.
Got the shoot on that one.
So yeah, he just healed there. The ampule provides stamina regen, as we said. It's also health regen for, I think, 5 minutes.
And that's time.
GG's.
GG.
So I'm going to let this part just kind of fill out this rest of the story here. I just want to hear her put some boots to God real quick. I love that part. And yeah, we're back in the amusement park, and Douglas made it, but Heather's gonna get one last troll in here.
Not yet. You're still alive.
What?
Just a joke.
So there is
Just a joke.
just a joke. There is an ending where you actually do kill him, I believe. So
Yeah, I think it's the possessed ending. I can't remember the
Not hiding anymore.
how you get it. Yeah.
so basically
The name my father gave.
so she's now accepting her real name, which is Cheryl, because she used to have dark hair. So, but
Don't you think blondes have more fun?
blondes have more fun apparently. So, and it's been a fun run.
Absolutely.
But I'm gonna give some shout outs here. Thank you, Miss Squeezy, for doing commentary. Shout
Thank
outs,
you for having me, sir.
shout outs to everybody who donated and that came through from my channel, and anyone in chat. Death Tropes, Saffrel, So, anyone else in the Silent Hill speedrunning community. And thank you, Sneevil and Chad Thorson and everybody. We got through with the tech issues, and the tech check, I was pretty scared because Streamlabs crashed, but we made it, so I'm happy. And this was an awesome first marathon for me, so I appreciate it, everybody. And if you want to check me out, I am at twitch.tv/TheJediJoe. I speedrun, variety stream, and I'm going to be starting cooking stream soon. You want to plug anything, Squeezy?
Yeah, sure. Same sentiments as Joe, really. Shout out to really the entire Silent Hill speedrunning community. There's a lovely bunch of people there, and everybody's very, very helpful. Thank you, Joe, for having me and allowing me to commentate. Thank you, Thunderthon, for what you're doing. It's all for a very, very good cause, and you've put on a fantastic show so far, and I can't wait to see the rest of it. And of course, you can catch me at twitch.tv, Mr_McSqueezy, if you want to hear this strange voice.
Amazing voice. I couldn't have done without you, but thank you. GG. Thank you, Thunderthon.
Thank you very much.
TheJediJoe, and thanks so much to you and Mr. McSqueezy for being here and for taking us through your run of Silent Hill 3. It was really, really, really great. Yeah, have a great weekend.
And yourself, thank you.
A huge thank you to everyone behind the scenes, as well as every one of you for being here. We've raised over £1,700 towards this amazing cause. We need just over £60 more to get this to £1,800.